taking you back in the day with one of our very old local songs that I believe is enjoyed by almost everybody. I even think almost everybody knows how to sing that song from A to Z. Well, it's a Thursday, another brand new day, another brand new opportunity for you to turn tables around in your life. And I wish you all the best today. Whatever you do, just, do good, think good deeds, think good thoughts, do good deeds, do everything in decent moderation, like my co-host will say. So we thank God Almighty for giving us this day. We hear in churches all the time, it's not by might, it's not by power, but by the will of the Lord. That is why we are alive today. And I woke up this morning feeling all motivated that, sometimes we have this perception in our lives that these things are for some persons, and then I cannot do this, I cannot do that because I'm not from this particular family or not. But when I read my Bible, that is not what it tells me. Once you are of God, whatever it is that you want to turn around in your life, you really can once you share that faith. So don't live your life with pessimism. Throw away that negativity, throw away that fear, because again, I remember my Bible tells me that God has not given us a spirit of fear but of sound mind and of peace. So throw away the pessimism and embrace optimism in your life, and whatever you are doing, have positive thoughts, have positive energy behind it that is going to turn out well, in as much as you look at challenges and all of that, so that when they come you can cross that. Don't always fix your mind on negative stuff, because that can give you bad energy and you may not be able to climb the ladder as you want. So it's a brand new opportunity. Think about this throughout the day, and whatever you're doing, do with good thoughts, okay? And then you're going to see light at the end of the tunnel. So you're welcome to the Thursday edition of Healthy Morning. My name is Stephanie Ejochina Manyana, and I'm here with my co-host acting all up. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I did that preaching with some praise and worship,
but Diego, you really believe what I'm saying. You think same too, right? That we a lot of people grow up thinking that Anka we the bushia for we be there. Media means me yes, media means me yes, me bushia no be an yes. So it's difficult for me to get
all of that. Actually, it's a mindset. So once again, I'll repeat what I once was taught back in school with African Studies course that I did. That says there's some people who go for want discouragement. Others prefer want encouragement. They want to advance and do better than where their fathers, grandfathers left them. Others are okay. Minya we kakra, minya ifitia, touch mad house be nice. Okay. So long as me rent, see touch mad tima, okay for me. I don't need to do something extra. So people are like that. It's just a mindset of people. I think that where they are is okay.
It's okay.
There's nothing to strive for. Probably indoctrinated by what the Bible says about the rich man going to heaven than a rich man in not being a camel not being able to pass through the eye of the needle, that kind of that parable in the Bible thing. So they think like okay, and I'm in prayer home. Because so prone compared in some near dear bro, you never bow on home, that kind of thing. So
is that your advice to now?
Yeah, that's all.
And a lot of people, before they even start a particular business, the perception is always negative. It's not going to end up well. What if so just do it. Just start. Like E.K. Bedemore say, just start. Just do it. And I believe the energy you're going to start with something will determine its end. So just start with positivity, and you may never know. You may never know. Once you sit and you put your honey between your legs, I'll come back though. So
the words of J.K. Bedema, start now. If you have to, start now. But once again, in as much as you want to dream and dream big, be measured in your dreams.
I know, right?
Okay, be measured about it. Just don't have too much expectations, and at the end of the day, it happens every aspect of life: marriage, school, everything else. If I marry her, my husband should buy me a Range Rover after 2 years, 3 years. Then the wedding should be classy. I say classic cramp. Wow, I say I don't want an expensive wedding, but it should be classy. Classy.
There's always a but. I think a lot of people really get into marriages with expectations.
A lot. That one here.
A lot of people get into marriages with expectation. So it's like they've measured for themselves that if example, if it's a lady, she's measured for herself that, okay, I'm getting into this marriage, and in the next 2 years, my husband is supposed to do this, supposed to do that. So that 2 years is up. You're not really
a boy and a girl.
Even especially with the material stuff, maybe he's supposed to open this business for me, he's supposed to give me this kind of car for me to ride, I'm supposed to have this amount of money in my pocket, in my accounts and all of that. So the 2 years is up, and maybe your husband has not been able to do all of these for you, and then you're thinking maybe he lied to you or something. But
there's a wrong place.
I'm thinking I'm not married, but I'm thinking it's partnership, right? You come together because you're having a life all by yourselves, all together.
True.
You're going to have your own kids, so you need to do away with what your families are thinking, and start something new with this special person.
Unfortunately, some even go for loans to get their weddings done because some of the men want to appease. I have a friend who was even telling me that prior to his wedding, the wife's family members called him for a meeting.
A meeting?
Me, we're from a meeting now.
What exactly? What to talk about?
Telling him the things you should do for the wedding.
Oh, really?
Really? And he also went, but
of course, he didn't know. He didn't.
No, he knew. Say a friend. No, the fact that they've called you, you have to be there.
Of course, he didn't know what they were going to talk about.
Just to listen. No way I can't. Oh, I say we say. Oh, I say now. Obana, what I require. I say we as
in planning the wedding.
Imagine.
Planning the wedding.
Yes.
But is
it my wife's family responsibility?
Planning the wedding. That's in where this buy that.
I didn't want to do it.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I know him too well. So,
and didn't the woman know him?
No, Obana now. So I didn't. I said they knew what they've done. I say, them was the same work my wife.
Exactly.
That's all.
I just wish couples will shield themselves as well. And I wish sometimes even before you even get into the marriage, you know your family better. This is a new person coming in, so I wish even you brief the person. Okay, me and to say nekasa yesi until can be forget it. Don't take it personal. Like shield your partners, but a man can leave the woman for the wife to be insulted. Well, by his family members. A woman can also do that. And then
but I also sometimes put the blame on some of these counselors because they don't tell the would-be couple, the real thing on the ground, the issues on the ground. They don't lay it bare. There's a part where they're supposed to discuss expectations of the woman and the man. Okay. Some of them overlook it and they don't even get into it. And then they'll just touch on the surface side and then they go and they start struggling. You understand?
Yeah.
So ask the woman what's the expectation. Ask the man in their presence, not separately.
Yeah.
In their presence. So when can they somebody is saying some things, but unfortunately, some of the men and even the women, most importantly, always lie about what the expectations are. They won't even tell you.
You really don't want to appear materialistic. So.
Exactly. They won't tell you the truth.
Anything goes.
Exactly. You see, until they venture into it, then she'll go like, Anyways, we're not discussing women and marriage today. We have a lot to share with you today on the show from now to approximately 9:30, and we'll get into the kitchen with Swiss Ajele in a bit after this introduction, and then we'll come back to do matters arise and a lot of stories regarding the OSP, the Special Prosecutor, and the issues with LaBianca. And today, the Commissioner General is even threatening him, telling him he's a small boy. If he tries to put him down, he will know where power lies.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what he's achieved in life. This is that part that he said. One person said the same thing similarly once upon a time. The great minister.
No, I think he was coming. I think he was coming from the point of I have struggled in life to get to this. Or to get to this thing, so you really do not have to do anything to tarnish my image. No, I'm just telling you that maybe that's the perception. That's the mindset.
That comment is needless. It's unwarranted. No matter where you've gotten to, you don't give those premises on your defense. Say because Idris and he's a small boy, you know him. So what?
Yeah, he said that the investigation is hollow.
At his position, he can take you all the 9 yards. And you can't do nothing about it if he finds you guilty. That is it. If you want to prosecute you, he can do. I mean, there have been countless times where people have been accused wrongly, and they take them through the dirt and the mud and all that. Unfortunately, they come out clean. But at the end of the day, your image has been tarnished already. So what can you do about it? You're not saying that's what he intends to do, or that's what his plans may be. I don't know. But then again, that's kind of comments that people give, like, do you know who I am? Do you know where I've been to what I've done? Oh yeah, why? But in your because 6 feet. In na say kwampo 6 feet no pomo nko 6 feet because why am I obi was here you dag 3 feet amount. Your mistake that's a not to say yeah. Minister of Greater Accra Minister that I never told so hu na you bop up to bent to ebe hu so wait me sorry in tema. I mean, on a more serious note, that kind of comment, I think some of these are leaders and representatives should shun that kind of saying that they say. Like, when they start bragging like, do you know who I am? I don't know, oh, yeah, wine. After all, yeah, wine. You're just human beings, so. It's just by grace. Nobody gets to that level by his own might. It's just by grace. I don't care. And sometimes God gives you that position for a reason. Don't go taunting yourself as yeah, all in all, yeah, champion or like yeah, or Henny or something. Anyways, there's other many stories we're going to touch on today. Some students at Bosompim, Bosompim rather, are complaining about their WASI, their insecurity at where they are. We also have some stories covering the fact that Ghana has been downgraded again after S&P downgrading to CCC plus. Well, Fitch has also done another downgrading from B negative to CCC. Doesn't look too good. Amidst the fact that inflation has also gone up approximately to 32%. It's 31.7%.
Yeah, why you rounding the numbers?
So it's quite a very dire situation. Kwame Pianim is also saying that either Oforiatta should resign or should be sacked. He was a former stalwart in the Kufuor administration, and he's still an MPP man. And he's saying this. Well, so we'll discuss all that, and then also later on we're going to have a conversation with a bodybuilder. He's going to teach us how to grow hips. I want to let my TV wife grow a bit more hips because I like the hips. So yeah, so how to grow extra hips. I'm busy.
You want me to grow hips because you like hips? You want me to grow hips because you like hips?
Yeah, it's good. It's good for a.
Well, after this segment, Sita Jele is going to come on and then she'll take us into the kitchen.
I've said Sita Jele thing already.
You like it? I really didn't want you to continue because it's too early for me to talk about that.
But that's what we're going to discuss. So why you?
No, you say you like hips because it's good for.
No. So we'll discuss hips.
I'm not sure I want to get into that conversation with you.
Please join us. All the ladies who like hips, who want to gain a little bit of hips, please join us on the conversation. Okay. Yeah, the man them is gonna join us so that we do Kigal and other things, so that you get that Coca-Cola body shape on. Rather than doing is it what do you call that?
Liposuction.
Liposuction, yeah. You don't maybe you don't go and cut anything. You get it naturally, okay? Don't waste too much money. Okay, so these are many more coming up in the hour we have with you today, and the show is always interactive. We're live on YouTube as well. It's HSTV GH Live. Go there, like, subscribe, click on the notification bell, and get notified on every other show that we have for you on this platform. And then the show is brought to you by Kankesi Prudential Life Insurance. Always listening, always understanding. Anything else you want to say before we go for the
Well, break? Nothing much. Yeah, so we can go for the break now, and then when we come back, we'll get into the kitchen with Sweeter Chili.
My name is Dr. Andrew Akutu. I'm the Managing Director of Lashibi Funeral Homes. Lashibi Funeral Homes was established to provide modern, state-of-the-art and comprehensive funeral services. If a family lost a loved one, everything became a do-it-yourself affair. But Lashibi Funeral Homes was established so that everything that has to do with the funeral, from the time a person dies until they are buried, can all be done and made available in one place. And at all time, to emphasize the importance of treating the body of the deceased with the utmost respect and dignity. Lashibi Funeral Homes provides any and all services that have to do with funerals. Lashibi Funeral Homes will recover the body from wherever the death occurred, embalm the body using the most modern techniques. We will keep the body or store the body in our state-of-the-art refrigeration system for as long as the family desires. Nearer the time of the funeral, we will prepare and dress the body up for the funeral. We provide transportation, namely ambulances and hearses, to convey the body from one place to the other as the family may wish. We also provide on our premises the services of an interdenominational chapel where the services can be conducted. We also have the only modern crematory in Ghana at the moment, which services not only Ghana but also Côte d'Ivoire. We also have a cemetery, one of the only two privately managed cemeteries in Accra at the moment. All it takes, literally, is one telephone call and perhaps 2 visits to our premises for everything to do with the funeral to be arranged for. There are several funeral plans on the market. Most of them are based on the premise that when the insured person passes away, the insurance company will pay an agreed sum of money to the bereaved family. Often enough, the sum paid to the family may not be sufficient to cover the basic needs the family requires. That is where the Prudential Dignity Plan comes into its own and is significantly different, because what the Prudential Dignity Plan ensures are the services that will be required, so that it does not matter whether 5 years or 10 years after the insurance was taken, those services will be provided regardless of the fact that the costs may have gone up. Once you are insured, your services are covered. It doesn't matter how long before the death occurs.
Dignity Farewell Plan from Prudential Life Insurance, in partnership with Lashibi Funeral Homes, is providing families with over a decade of experience and peace of mind when it comes to saying goodbye to your loved ones. To find out more or to sign up to the Dignity Farewell Plan, contact us today.
This is HSTV, grateful for your time. Training. Are you creative? Are you willing to learn? Are you interested in the media? Well, HSTV has an opportunity for you. Get training in camera handling, video editing, motion graphics, program presenting, MCR, sound engineering, news reporting, and casting.
In Accra to speak to some commercial drivers.
Why don't you call these numbers 054 6833 724 or 0240 300 507.
Hello, sweet team. Welcome back to my channel. This is Sweet Ajele, and I am back with another recipe. I hope everyone is doing wonderfully well. I am doing just fine. Do you have overripened bananas at home? Well, let's put this together. I have here some milk. To that, I'll add some yeast and sugar. Give it a quick stir, cover it up, keep it in a warm place to activate your yeast. I always like to activate my yeast, whether or not they say you don't have to, because at times you will waste all your ingredients just to find out the yeast is no good. And then when your bananas look like this, either cut it up and keep it in your freezer or make delicious recipes like these. Okay, so I add in 2 bananas. They're about a medium size. To be safe, you can measure about 1 cup of banana after mashing it. Okay, I'll then mash it beautifully. You can leave some chunks in there if you wish, or you can make it nice and smooth. I'm making it nice and smooth because I want my babies to enjoy it. Once it nicely mashed like this, I'm going to go ahead and add in my melted butter, and I'll mix it until it is well combined. I then add in some salt and vanilla extract. You may use any flavor of your choice. I'll mix it until it is well combined. As long as my yeast and my salt are not coming in contact in the early stages of mixing, we are good. Then our mixture of yeast and milk will go in. It has activated beautifully. I'll mix it well, and then we'll add in our all-purpose flour. You can use bread or hard flour for this recipe. We'll mix everything until it is well combined. This bread is a no-knead type of bread, so it is no stress, yet it'll come out so delicious. We'll then go ahead and cover it up and allow it to rest for about 20 minutes. And this is what it looks like 20 minutes later. The gluten have relaxed beautifully, so we're going to go ahead and flour our work surface and transfer our dough onto it, and then we'll just knead it just until it comes together beautifully. You can knead it for a longer time, but this right here does not need all that work. It is super delicious however it is you put it together. Once it comes together beautifully like this, I'm just going to cut it into my preferred portions. You may make a loaf out of it, but I want to make dinner rolls. We'll then go ahead and make it into our rolls by pulling and tucking it into the middle of it or into itself, and then we pinch everything together, flip it over, and then roll it in between our palm and our work surface. I repeat the process until all our rolls are done. I'll be covering this with my plastic wrap, but to keep it from sticking, I'll brush it with some butter and it'll help it come off it easily. I'll cover it up and place it in my oven with the lights on and let it rise to double or triple in its size. Just like this, it is ready. You can also put it outside if it's in the summer or in your car. Oh, it rises so quickly. This is absolutely beautiful. I'll score the top of it to make it look beautiful. It is optional. You do not have to do this. And then I'll bake it in a 325-degree Fahrenheit oven for about 25 minutes. And this is what it looks like when it comes out. When you knock on it, it should sound kong kong. Then you know that it is ready. I'll brush it with some butter, place it back in the oven for about 5 minutes, and our dinner rolls made out of bananas are ready. See, I love me some bananas, so I hate for bananas to go bad in my household. My kids, they don't care for bananas, and me, once it begins to have those black spots on it, I really don't enjoy it. But you can enjoy it in your smoothies, your bread, your tobe, your donuts, you name it. Bananas should not go to waste in your house. And just like that, we have a delicious dinner roll made out of banana. You can simply call them banana bread. Once it comes back out of the oven, you want to get it out onto a cooling rack. Allow it to cool beautifully before enjoying. That is, if you can wait, because my household and I, we could not wait. So we began to dig right in. Just look at it. When you push down on it and it bounces back, you know you've made you a perfect banana bread right in the comfort of your own home. And we all know that bananas goes so well with peanuts, so we will be enjoying this today with some peanut butter. My kids, they really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and are inspired to try the recipe. Until I see you in the next one, stay safe, keep loving each other, and remember that the love of God and family is life's greatest blessing. And guys, ke onamini uchemi sweet mahabotu. Bye y'all.
Adiana to look on again. Gambling butter, gambling fish. And sweet ajele. Mbao, maybe open. Continental food, madam. Food, madam. International food captain. We'll show you how to make pizza, jollof, mango and okra soup, sushi and pastries. All this and more. Sweet ajele. Go go, go go, gaga go. Sweet ajele. Go go, gaga go. Sweet ajele.
The heart was what I was saying. Mr. Jebi, what's your yari or now? I didn't video. The heart.
This is HSTV, grateful for your time. Training. Are you creative? Are you willing to learn? Are you interested in the media? Well, HSTV has an opportunity for you. Get training in camera handling, video editing, motion graphics, program presenting, MCR, sound engineering, news reporting, and casting.
In Accra to speak to some commercial drivers.
Why don't you call these numbers 054 68 33 724 or 0240 300 507.
Would you like to own a home, start a business, provide seed money, or a good education for your children? The Pro Wealth Plan answers all of life's questions. This is Ekwa 9. She wants to be an engineer in future. Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Hammond, plan to give her the best education but don't want to be unnecessarily burdened when she's ready for university in 10 years. Do you know how much it will cost Ekwa to go to a local private university or university abroad in the next 10 years? Ekwa's parents have signed up to a Pro Wealth Plan. They pay affordable monthly premiums that ensures they are able to fund Ekwa's university fees and living expenses. When she's ready for university, Prudential will pay the maturity benefit and her parents can enjoy free insurance cover for an additional 5 years. In the unfortunate event that her parents pass away, Prudential will pay over 200% of the sum assured, which is 100% immediately, 10% annually to keep Ekwa in her current school, and 100% at maturity for her chosen university. This means that Prudential Life has guaranteed Ekwa's education regardless of life's uncertainties. The Pro Wealth Plan also covers a spouse or partner up to the same sum assured. With over 26 million customers, 24,000 employees globally, and over 170 years experience, you and your family can have peace of mind knowing that you are in safe hands. Whatever your financial goals are, the Pro Wealth Plan has the answers to life's questions. Call us today and let Prudential secure your future.
All right, you're welcome back from the break. Just gone by was Twitter Jelly teaching us how to make banana bread. I love banana bread. It tastes very nice especially when it's freshly taken out of the oven and it's soft like that. You know, I could someone I said, yeah, all the uchumka crown or the imagine fuma, and I said cheese bishima. Oh my God. Anyways, welcome back. It's time for us to get into Matters Rise, and there's a lot of stories to talk about today. And before that, you heard some song from Throwing Back Again, Hanamafo. Is it Hanamafo? Yeah. You know, the part, I like the part where they start giving shout outs. Ain't no comfort. I would dribble. Let me share baby. Akosia Grace.
So that was where the shout out started from, eh? Yeah. That was where the shout out started from.
Yeah. On my shout out. There's a popular one from what's his name? Machi Dede. Fast and Enterprise, Coco Memory. Anyways, welcome back once again. It's time for us to get into the dailies and the front page as well as some portals. What is happening over there? Don't forget, under 20 women are going to engage in the Costa Rica World Cup effective today. So we want to wish them all the best. Don't forget, Precious Azuma will be in with Sports a Minute to give you details of that. But we want to wish our princesses all the very best as they venture into Costa Rica, hopefully to bring back the cup here. Ben Foucault, the coach, and your team wish you all the best with that. Okay, so unfortunately, we don't have birthdays to say today, but happy birthday to everybody else celebrating his or her birthday today, wherever you are. Happy blessed birthday to you. In case you missed out yours and you want to send us a message for us to do that, please do that. Send us a message on our WhatsApp line on your screen on the left-hand corner. Send it to us, and then add the name and, of course, any message you want to send to the person, plus a picture, and then we'll be able to do that dedication for you. All right. So that's it. Let's shift gears and get into the dailies for today. We have the usuals. So the Finder, we have also the Dispatch. So let's start off with the Business Finder this morning, and it says 30 million farm machinery arrives. Farmers to pay only 60% of costs, according to Dr. Ifriye Akuto. And it comes with this picture. Why are you so excited?
I'm thinking that you'll be excited because you've been backlashing him now and then. Come on, that's commendable. Don't do that.
He's excited. He's on the front page of the paper. He's excited. I don't know why he's excited.
Farmers are to pay 60% of the cost. Is that?
Oh, I should be happy about. Yes, I am happy about it. 40%. Come 50-50.
Half a loaf is better than none.
Oh, this is not half. You said half a loaf. Half a loaf. This is not half. This
but
is
if the half a loaf is better than doesn't mean half.
50% is
half.
No, but for now, I say half a loaf. This is not half. This is 60% a loaf. I mean half a loaf, 50-50. I say the government into 50, they say into 50. Oh, Jai, the free akuto. Did I the influence always? Watching influence. Watching and it's a mess. I don't go through hard times before you start. So we do go through hard times before they start thinking.
Yes, that's the language they understand.
That's how it's supposed to be.
You know that by now. Yes. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That's how it's supposed to be.
That's not how it's supposed to be. That is how they have made it be. That is how they made it be. So if you don't talk or you keep quiet,
so inflation, the inflation we are having.
Locally produced
things are rather causing inflation now.
Yes. I think I'm getting to your side.
Okay. Thanks you. God bless you. Anyway, so that is the story coming out today. We have mechanized farming now boosting by the 30 million, we are told, farm machinery being coming. I think it includes plows, It includes those they use for plowing, those they use for maybe harvesting, combined harvesters, and all those ones. So yeah, and farmers can have access to it by just paying 60% of it. 40% will be taken care of by the government. That's a good subsidy.
The storage,
I think they do that for fertilizers as well. So that's a good call. So yeah, let's hope that 7.8% they are boasting about increases, and they will now become self-sufficient in terms of what we eat here in Ghana. All right, so away from that, provide blood insurance to save lives. Dr. Fori, page 7 of the paper has more. I don't know how blood insurance comes here.
Yeah, the National Insurance Commission, they launched a campaign to, voluntarily donate blood to people, and then he's actually the head of the NIC.
So if you are rampant, or is that a word? If you donate blood often, then you are getting some kind of insurance. So should you need, for any of your family members, it should be sorted nice and easy. I'm thinking that's what it should be.
Maybe, but it's actually a campaign that was, that started on the 9th of August. And according to him, as the commissioner, he believes that blood is something that runs through our veins and our arteries, and God has given that to us. But he's also thanking how it is, because when you lose blood, you would die. But then we have like an alternative where there is blood transfusion and all of that. So should someone lose blood, the best thing is that other people donate blood, and then that person can live. So it's not like it's something where when you lose it, nothing can be done about it at all. So you're just encouraging persons to donate blood and all of that, so they can keep them in the blood banks. To save lives, basically. I know
when living pregnant, some hospitals, when the pregnant women are going to deliver, they usually will require that the husband or anybody, 2 people at least, to go and donate blood before that, because just in case she bleeds, then I just said there's a backup there. So I remember doing that for a friend of mine, but it's also that you can't do it. They usually give you 1 year moratorium, sort of. So we end this year, that means until the next year you can do it.
It reminds me of a story my mom told me about her father, who actually went out to donate blood to someone, and then he came back so weak, and it's like he was almost dying, and he was like, you really can't say anything, because you go do good for somebody, and it's like the other people who got the blood, they were feeling so guilty, because how can you do this blood to our family member, now you're dying?
Unfortunately. So you see where I'm coming from, the insurance that I'm talking about. So if somebody, for instance, from your family goes and offers blood for maybe another family member, and then at a point in time he needs it. And is unable to give. Nobody, they can't find anybody. Because you are a regular donor. You should be able to sort you out, not necessarily allowing you to die, or maybe something like that. You understand? So anyways, the last story on the front page of the Business Finder this morning says Access Bank champion SMEs digitalization. Page 7 has details of that, and of course it comes with a picture of my senior in the Francis School, Jones Damo, zonal head for business banking, and he's the man here talking about how Access Bank is also venturing into digitalization. And kudos to you, senior. And well, it looks like once again we should say kudos to the man in charge, Dr. Baumia. Looks like you are having an impact on every other business here in Ghana. So we heard that the Dressmakers Association now have an online portal that people can go there. Very soon, Abusokai will have a portal also. And then the onion sellers also have portals. So yeah, Everton, everybody will go and have digitalization kind of thing in their businesses. It's a good thing.
Okay, let's get into the front page of the Daily Dispatch. The banner headline says that NPP will go to court if Speaker fails to declare Adwoa Safo's seat vacant, and it comes with a picture of the Speaker of Parliament and Osei Wusu, the Bekwai Member of Parliament, and he's been talking about this since yesterday, and we looked into that, where he's saying that NPP will go to court if the Speaker fails to declare that seat vacant, the Dom Kwabenya seat. Okay, and another story here says that Ghana's marital characteristics, page 7 of the paper has details. I'm also interested in that story. I think I should get to read that. And then Ghana Card will save SNIT over $126 billion, and this is from the Director General of SNIT. Vice President Baumia told us how much money they are losing almost annually, and how much money even National service scheme is also losing annually because of this ghost names and all of that. So at least the unique card, or the Ghana card,
supposed to be ghost names.
Ghost names, and then I think for SNET it was 27,000, and then national service was about 14,000, so almost 400 million Ghana cedis lost annually as a result of that. So the unique card or the Ghana card is going to save us that kind of money. So that's the story. And the last story on the Daily Dispatch says that retract and apologize or I see you. And this is from the Chief of Staff to the Herald newspaper. I comes with a picture of her. And we have the story.
Yeah, so let me quickly do that. So the Chief of Staff is
the Herald newspaper
enthused at all about what some paper is doing about her. Well, so the Chief of Staff gives newspaper 24-hour ultimatum to render an apology. And the story says, lawyers of Akosua Fremopare, Ghana's Chief of Staff at the office of the President, has written to publishers of the Herald newspaper demanding a retraction and apology. According to a letter signed by lawyer Gary Numakun of Marfo and Associates, the newspaper is in publication dated Wednesday, August 3, 2022, under the headline, More Rot Emerged from Bust with Chief of Staff Named Again, had criminal connotations which sought to defame their clients, while pointing out what it said was a desperate attempt to malign and tarnish the hard-won reputation of their clients. The lawyers said publishers of the Herald have up to 24 hours to retract and apologize for the publication or risk legal action. And the letter we got or chanced upon says, some part of it I'm going to read. We are instructed to inform you that the above publication about our client has criminal connotation and saying indefamatory of her. It is instructive to point it out to you that official records available to us show that the action was conducted by Manel's mat auction, and payment of said vehicles were directly effected into boss account at Stanbic Bank. We wish to further state that notice of the auction was published in the Daily Graphic Friday, April 29, 2022 as follows. Auction sale of under-serviceable vehicles bust on 06, that is on the 6th of May 2022 at 10 a.m. It is needless to point out that the auction of the said unserviceable vehicles was a public auction sanctioned by the Public Procurement Authority. Regrettably, you did not see the need to verify the source of your information from official sources because your desperate attempt to malign and tarnish the hard-won reputation of our clients. We are instructed to point it out to you that the beneficiaries of the public auction had nothing to do with political party affiliation. It is unfortunate that you sought to drag the name of the Chief of Staff into discussions that are either purely managerial or that of the board of the directors of BOST. So it goes on and on and on and on. It says that please be informed that we have our clients' firm instruction to commence legal proceedings against you to validate her grievances without further recourse to you should you fail to accede to our request within the period stated supra. That's a legal term, by the way. Please be advised accordingly. It was signed by Marfo and Associates, legal practitioners, blah, 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 goes on and on. And a copy to Honorable Akosua Fremopare, Chief of Staff, Office of the President, Jubilee House, Accra. All right, so that is a letter that is sent to the Herald newspaper for them to retract the story against her, that she was part of the auction that was for the unserviceable vehicles that was sold. All right, so hopefully they may take an advice. Thankfully, she didn't go ahead to sue them before taking legal action. Rather, she's giving you ample time, a whole 24 hours.
And you're thinking
to
that's quite fair? Yeah, very fair.
That's a good call. All right, so let's move on to some other stories we have for you today. Let's start off with...
let's get into the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
Okay, all right.
Where it says that in...
So the Special Prosecutor stories are out. And we know he put out about 12-page report on how come La Bianca Foods was able to import some items into the country without paying the appropriate import tax. Okay, citing the Madam Asamani, is it Asamani?
Asumahene,
okay, Asumahene, rather, who is also the board chair of Ghana Ports and Harbors, and also a member of the Council of State. She is the owner, the director of that business. That she was implicated in that, and that he's been able to retrieve a little over 1 million Ghana cedis for the lack of payments or the proper payments for the import taxes that were due. But another party who was cited in the report is talking. There's nothing in it. It is hollow. Customs boss discredits OSP's corruption report. Don't forget, the surveys that have been asked, Customs has been cited in there as well. So the Commissioner of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, has formally reacted to a corruption report released by Office of the Special Prosecutor. According to Colonel Kojo Damoa, retired, a careful reading of the report showed that it was much ado about nothing. That reminds me of a title a book written by Shakespeare. Addressing matters raised in the 12-page document at the Customs Division Management Retreat in the Ashanti Regional Capital, Kumasi, earlier today, that was actually yesterday, Colonel Damoa said of the report, if you read it very well, there is nothing in it, it is hollow. He also stated that any attempts by the Special Prosecutor to bring him down will not work. He noted that the source of the Special Prosecutor's interest in him and his office was because of his express refusal to second a key official of customs to the OSP. His comment comes on the back of a report which has implicated Eunice Jacqueline Bua Asumahene, okay, that's the name I was trying to recall, owner of the LaBianca Company Limited and the Council of State member over influence peddling. Colonel Kojo Damoa, referring to SP Kisi Ijabin, stressed that he had survived a number of attacks on his hard-won reputation and that he will survive this one brought on by small boy Ijabin. 3 days ago, a report purported to be coming from the Office of the Special Prosecutor trying to indict the Deputy Commissioner of Operations and myself. Anybody who has read that report very well will know the basis of this. He said while addressing some senior customs officers at the retreat in Kumasi, and luckily for me, God is always on my side. Before that report came, that person had made a comment on some people who had come to tell me that he, that is a special prosecutor, was going to publish that will discredit me. I even sent people to go and tell him that he's a small boy and I'm older than him. I have lived a meaningful life, and if attempts to destroy me, it won't be easy for him. People have tried and have survived, and this too, I will survive it, he added. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a report. Let's hear what he said from the horse's own mouth. We have a video for you.
Report purporting or coming from the Office of the Special Prosecutor, trying to indict the Deputy Commissioner of Operations and myself. And if anybody who has read that report very well will know the basis of that. And luckily for me, God is always on my side. Before that report came, that person had made a statement to some people who had come to them. He was going to publish something that will discredit me, and he will do that. And I even sent people to go and tell him that he's a small boy. I'm older than him. I have lived a meaningful life. If he attempts to destroy me, it won't be easy for him. People have tried it. I have survived, and this one too, I'll survive. All that happened. One of the reasons was because of Mr. Akurugu. He wanted Mr. Akurugu to be seconded to his office, and I said no. Mr. Akurugu is a customs officer, primarily employed to do customs work. And he is to partner Mr. Akutofachin in that office, African Continental Free Trade Area. He deals with tariffs and valuation. And therefore, I cannot second him to the Office of the Special Prosecutor because he has a primary role to play in customs. And then he comes back through the Commissioner General. And again, I said, I insist and will go by that he has a primary role. It is when I don't have a role for him or I can dispense with his services, I have others to do what he's going to do, that I will give him to you. So I insist. And he calls me to his office when in relation to LaBianca. And at the end of it, he talks to me about this same matter. And I said, yes, It is not the Commissioner General. I wrote it. Go and check it. And I have my reasons. He will not be released to you. He will be in customs. And then behind me, he goes to resign. He's given the position of Commissioner of Police a rank, and he's now with your office. And he goes to make allegations that Mr. Duce and myself, we hit him, and they will deal with us. So that is it. That is the basis of that publication. But if you read it very well, there's nothing in it. It's hollow. It's actuated reports purporting or coming from
the commissioner. This is what it says. But honestly, he says one of the reasons why Mr. Kissie Jaben is attempting to denigrate his reputation, hard-won reputation, has to do with his deputy, Mr. Akurugu, who he wanted to be part of the OSP, and he denied. How should that be a reason why Mr. Kissie Jaben would want to denigrate him or put him in a bad position or in the limelight so people see that he's a bad person? Why should that be? Honestly. Why should that be? So, per the report again that we have, the 12-page report that Mr. Kissie Jaben gave out, he is able to get that 1 million, over 1 million Ghana cedis. How come it was paid back now? If you feel there's nothing untoward that he did as a commissioner of customs, how come you've paid that money back? Or we stand to be correct, unless of course the special prosecutor hasn't gotten that money yet and he's lying to us. The part that I'm very incensed about is where he says he's a small boy, I'm older than him. How is that necessary in this? So what? And he goes ahead to even threaten him. This is the part that he threatens him, that he's lived a meaningful life, attempt to destroy me, it won't be easy for him. That's more like a threat. That's more like a threat. It's unnecessary. If I were in his position, Colonel, if I were in your position, all you need to do is just also reply a letter. You don't need to cast insinuations, call him a small boy. Whatever he is at that position. He's occupying a very important position in government right now. He's not a small boy. The last I checked. You might be older than him, that's okay. But you don't need to let us know. It's irrelevant, honestly. This is totally irrelevant. Your threats and your accusations are all over the place. And it says one of the reasons. Why didn't you give us all the reasons why you think he's trying to denigrate your reputation? I would be more interested in the others than the fact that he wanted a member of your team or your deputy. I want to know the other reasons rather than that. Even is, for me, is negligible. Very unimportant. Anyway, let's see how this back and forth will go. The coming days, I'm sure OSP will come out. He also give his own version of the entire story that we need to know about, respect to Colonel and all that he's saying. Okay,
let's still stay on the office of the special prosecutor and the LaBianca report. It says, quoting that, you got it all wrong, and that's from the Chamber of Trade and Trade rejecting OSP's reports on LaBianca. That's another branch that was cited. Yes, and says that the Chamber of Trade and Trade has not taken kindly to the office of the special prosecutor's investigative report that cited the chief executive officer of LaBianca Group of Companies for corruption-related offences. The chamber says both the owner of the company, who is also a Council of State member, and the Ghana Revenue Authority have done no wrong, as claimed by the report's findings. Eunice Jacqueline Bria Asumahene, also a member of the board of directors of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, has been accused of allegedly using her position to get a favorable decision from the Customs Division of the GRA, leading to a reduction in her company's tax liabilities. And it comes with a presser released by the Chamber of Trade and Trade, actually rejecting the reports of LaBianca. And maybe I should touch on that a little bit. So in summary, says that we wish to state that we are clear in our minds and strongly believe, saying to be true, that both LaBianca Company, its CEO, Mrs. Eunice Jacqueline Bria Asumahene, and Customs did not violate the law in any way and has not acted in contrary to the Customs Act 891, and there was no influence peddling as the report seeks to paint. So in conclusion, as a country, we shouldn't be quick to destroy and bring down indigenous Ghanaian companies who are doing very well in both tax payments and employment generation. God bless us all. And it was signed by the president of Freight and Trade, who is Dennis Amfosefa. And that's the letter they released yesterday as regards to this.
This is not to once again hold brief for Kisi Jabin, but I don't think he'll just get up and publish things like this without proper investigation.
And I'm so much interested in the fact that at the end of the day, the money was good. So if all of this is wrong, how then were you even able to pay that amount of money back?
That is my major.
Because if you really believe that you are not at fault of whatever you're being accused of, you wouldn't also be comfortable paying such an amount of money, especially when you know that you are not at fault.
And they are all trying to make it seem as if. So we all know. Trust me, I've said it here before. I'm going to say it again. The man who is now trying to take up the position of lead the MPP, that is Kwabena Japan, 2006. He was interviewed on, what's his name, Paul Adomoche's show, and he was saying the things that he and our late finance minister then, Kojo Baredu, met at the port, the things that happened at the port, the carnage, the corruption that happens over there, to the extent that he said, we can look for the video and show it. We're getting as low as 20% of what you're supposed to be getting from the port. And the freight forwarders, they are part of it. The customs are part of it. Everybody that plays a role, stakeholders in the port, they are all part of it. This woman in question, the Bianca woman in question, she's the board chair of Ghana Ports and Harbors. So we all know the things that happen over there. And because they've seen that the guy is trying to expose some of the things that they do, hey, everybody have to really sort on him, call him a small boy. And the bravado and the guts, people feel like they can call on anybody to tell them that you're a small boy, you don't know what I've achieved. That kind of thing that people do, I get very agitated about that. When you say anything, when you say and you may shout different, or when you cough, it's gas.
All right, let's get into other stories where it says that Ghana's inflation rate rises again and it hits 31.7% in July 2022. And I'm thinking that what the minority said some time ago, that if we are not careful, inflation is going to hit about 50% at the end of the year, is likely to be true, because what is happening? Okay, it says that significant increases in prices of transport and food pushed Ghana's inflation rate to hit 31.7% in the month of July 2022. And this represents a 1.9 percentage point increase over the 29.8% rate that was recorded in June this very year. On a monthly basis, inflation between June and July was 3.1%, and this was captured in the Consumer Price Index, data released by the Ghana Statistical Service on Wednesday, August 10, 2022. And according to the data, food inflation rose again to 32.3%, while non-food inflation was 31.3%. Government statistician Professor Samuel Enim highlighted the impact of the key drivers of the increase in the overall inflation rate for July this year, quoting that, "We compose this from two perspectives, the food and non-food inflation, and from a domestic and imported perspective. From the food and non-food inflation, we recorded food inflation of 32.3% and 31.3% for non-food inflation. From the domestic perspective, we also recorded 29.2% and imported inflation of 31.3%. He further indicated that Eastern region recorded the highest inflation rate of 38.1%, whereas the Upper East region recorded the lowest inflation of 19.8%. And what exactly are we talking about now? Ghana's inflation rate is at 31.7% this very month. 31.7%
32%
this very month. And it's quite unfortunate that even our locally produced goods are what is, I'm trying to take my words carefully. It's contributing to inflation a little more than the imported goods. Our locally produced goods is contributing for inflation a little more than the imported goods, and it doesn't any effect. 31.7%. And this is July. We have August,
September, October,
November, December, 5 months. We just hope that things turn around as soon as possible.
We just pray that it don't even hit 50% by the end of the year. Well, Elliot Otu says, good morning, Dad. Please come down. I need you. Okay, I'm down. Okay, I'm here. I'm down.
I like what you added that you need to.
Well, in an attempt to also mitigate the inflation, central bank hikes interest rates in sync to tame inflation pressures. You know, we keep having inflation keep going up. It was somewhere 20, almost 30. Now we are here at 32, approximately 32%, and it looks like it keeps going. So central bank also trying to put in some mitigation measures to help tame the pressure on inflation. So this is what the story says. During the pandemic, central bank in both advanced and emerging market economies took unprecedented measures to ease financial conditions and support the economic recovery, including interest rate cuts and asset purchases. With inflation at a multi-decade high in many countries and pressures broadening beyond food and energy prices, policymakers have pivoted towards tighter policy, as our chart of the week shows. Central bank in many emerging markets proactively starts to hike rates earlier last year, followed by their counterpart in advanced economies in the final month of 2021. The monetary policy cycle is now increasingly synchronized around the world. Importantly, the pace of tightening is accelerating in several countries, particularly in advanced economies in terms of both frequency and magnitude of rate hikes. Some central banks have begun to reduce size of their balance sheet, moving further towards normalization of policy. Stable prices are a crucial prerequisite for sustained economic growth. With the risk of the inflation outlook tilted to the upside, central banks must continue normalizing to prevent inflationary pressures. Would that be able to happen in the coming days? Let's pray and see. And it goes on to say the need to act resolutely to bring inflation back to their target, avoiding the de-anchoring of inflation expectations that will damage credibility built over the past decade. Monetary policy can't resolve remaining pandemic-related bottlenecks in global supply chain and disruptions in the commodities markets due to war in Ukraine. It can, however, slow overall demand to address demand-related inflationary pressures, so as tightening of financial conditions in the goal. The high uncertainty concluding the economic and inflation outlook hampers on the ability of central banks to provide simple guidance about the future path. Well, will they be able to provide a simple guidance and help us hedge against inflation? In the coming days, in the coming months, we'll get to find out. It goes on to say the high uncertainty clouding the economic and inflation outlook hampers the ability of the central banks to provide simple guidance about the future path of the policy, but clear communication by central bank about the need to further tighten policies and steps required to control inflation is crucial to preserve credibility. So let's see how that will be preserved in the coming days so that we can hedge against inflation in the coming months. All right, over to you.
Yeah, and recently the S&P downgraded our credit rating, and then it looks like just yesterday Fitch is also downgrading that. So I want us to look into that story. Then we are done with the business stories. Okay. So it says that Fitch downgrades Ghana's credit rating from B to CCC. So Ghana has suffered another blow as its credit rating has been downgraded by Fitch ratings from B to CCC. This rating did not come with an outlook because Fitch typically does not assign outlooks to ratings of CCC plus or below. This update follows Standard & Poor's downgrade of Ghana's foreign and local credit ratings from B to CCC with a negative economic outlook. 8 months down the line, the agency says the downgrade reflects the deterioration of Ghana's public finances. It said this has, quoting that, contributed to a prolonged lack of access to Eurobond markets, in turn leading to a significant decline in external liquidity. Fitch expects that Ghana's international reserves to fall to close to 2 months of current external payments by end of this year without any known external financing sources. After a rough 2022 that has seen Ghana in the throes of an economic crisis, the Akufo-Addo administration has turned to the IMF for a support program. Fitch noted that government's high interest costs and structurally low revenue as a percentage of GDP have increased the likelihood that IMF support would necessitate some form of debt treatment. And the ratings agency estimates that Ghana faces about $2.75 billion of external debt servicing in 2022, including amortization and interest, and a $2.8 billion in 2023. For the remainder of 2022, Fitch expects that the government meets its external debt obligations through a combination of a $750 million term loan from the African Export-Import Bank, and then the $250 million in syndicated loans from international commercial banks, and up to $200 million from the government's sinking fund.
Anyways,
so S&P is downgrading our credit rating, and then Fitch is also doing that. So it looks like from B, we are at C, B minus
to
CCC. So it's like if you don't know what that means, you can even look at the educational calendar. When you pass, it's A. Even some schools we even have A plus. Most schools is A, then you are good to go. Some schools we have A plus, and then we have A before you come to B plus and B minus. Until we have been downgraded from B minus to C, in the C category.
Unfortunately, yes, this is where we are. There's another business story, so let's do it real quick before we venture into other areas. So it has to do with the Ghana Water Company Limited. Revenue collection hits 902 million Ghana cedis at the end of 2021. Revenue collection from water supply by the Ghana Water Company Limited totaled about 902 million Ghana cedis at the end of last year, 2021. This is according to the Managing Director of the Ghana Water Company Limited, Engineer Dr. Clifford Brahma, making the assertion at a media briefing at an exhibition held by the Ghana Water Company on Wednesday, that was yesterday, August 10, 2022. Engineer Dr. Brahma averred the recorded 902 million Ghana cedis revenue collection for 2021 marks 34.8% increment when compared to the 669 million Ghana cedis revenue collection recorded in 2017. So that's an upward success for all of them. The increments in revenue collection as at the end of 2021, Engineer Dr. Brahma noted, represent a monthly average revenue collection of 75 million Ghana cedis, which is further projected to increase by 80 million Ghana cedis by the end of 2022. Monthly average revenues collection in 2017 was 55 million Ghana cedis, but having improved on the efficiency of the company's operations, monthly average revenue collection has increased to 75 million Ghana cedis, and by the close of the year, we expect it to increase to over 80 million Ghana cedis, he quipped. Then he continued to say, speaking further at the media briefing and exhibition themed Accounting to Our Customers, the MD noted the company's electronic billing system in 2021 raked in some 64.3 million Ghana cedis in revenue to the Ghana Water Company. Electronic payments transaction in 2017 was 1.7 million. This rose to 13.2 million in 2018, and then 64.3 million in 2021, representing a 387.5% increment in revenue, he remarked. On a monthly basis, the electronic billing system generates an average revenue of 9.3 million Ghana cedis, which is expected to rise further to 11.1 million Ghana cedis by the end of 2022. So it looks like the electronic system of payments is rather increasing their revenue so far, because we're talking about 387.5 million Ghana, 387.5% of increments. But now that people are pissed off about using the Momo transactions and all that, I'm wondering how they're able to increase or inch up their figures in the year 2022, because electronic transactions basically has to do with the banking transactions or Momo transactions and all that. That people don't really walk to the offices. That anyway, let's see how that goes. People are pissed off with Momo, so because of e-levy.
Of course. Let's get away from business and venture into politics. And the story says that Oforiatta should resign or be sacked. So, however it is, he should be out of office.
He's not needed around that space now.
And this is from Kwejo in PNE. He is a former chief of staff under the John Ajekum Kufuor-led government. And he's saying that he's surprised that President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has yet to conduct a major reshuffle 6 years into office. He said whilst he will rather advise the president privately on which appointees he believed should be reshuffled or sent packing, the need for a particular minister to be quit or sacked was glaring. Impiani said that Finance Minister Kedu Furiata needed to resign even before the president decides to fire him. He cited Ufuriata's no stance on government seeking help from the International Monetary Fund and a general economic decline as his reasons. Quoting that, I believe sincerely that some of the ministers must go. If I were the finance minister, I would have resigned before the president sacks me due to his stance on the IMF. Quoting again that it is surprising that the president hasn't done any reshuffle up till this point. He may not know all the ministers because some were recommended to him. As a member of the NPP, I won't come on TV and say which minister should go or stay. I will advise the president privately and provide to him some reasons. Responding to calls for a reshuffle, President Akufo-Addo said on August 8 during his Northern Region tour that the calls come for all kinds of reasons. NEC wanting to destabilize the government is one, and there are people who are also looking for jobs. He defended the job his ministers have put in so far, stating that, quoting, many of them for me have done outstanding works. Their output has been considerable, and that is what I look at. If the output measures expectations, then I don't have any strong reasons to heed the call. And just yesterday, I was listening to the majority, Mr. Osechi Mensah-Bonsu, who was saying that should there be a reshuffle, he thinks that all persons who assume new offices or take up new roles should be vetted again to, assess the competency in that particular new
I think
space.
I concur with that.
Yes, I think I also agree to that.
I think in that same report, he also mentioned the fact that the president says he doesn't see any reshuffling doesn't necessarily mean that he might not do it. So he's kind of holding brief for the president by his retort or debunking the fact that he doesn't want to reshuffle. But then again, the comments he made about the people looking for jobs. I don't think Dr. Kofi Annan, for instance, aka Citizen Kofi, is looking for a job. He doesn't need to be a finance minister to be able to function and do whatever he's doing. He's already well-established man. But anyway, those are the comments that came from the president regarding why he's not reshuffling. I think it's about time. Well, if he will reshuffle, the police force says they will reshuffle. So IGP Dampare conducts reshuffle. Accra commander anti-Langard boss moved. Okay, so the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Akufo-Dampare, has caused a shake-up within the high command of the Ghana Police Service. The new changes affected some top officials, including the Accra Regional Police Commander, DCOP Edie Seidu, who has been moved to the National Patrols Department to serve as deputy to the Director General, COP Paul Awuni. The head of the anti-Langard unit, the police headquarters, Superintendent Tulub Karimu, has been moved to the Western region to be in charge of operations. Details available indicate that the office of the Accra Regional Police Commander will be occupied by DCOP Dr. Saibu Garba, the immediate past Upper East Regional Police Commander. And so those are the stories that comes with regard to the shake-up and the top hierarchy of the police force, courtesy the IGP, Dr. Dampare. All right.
Okay. In other news, WASI students of Busumtre Oyoko Community SHS appeal for help. Students of the Busumtre Oyoko's Community Senior High School have appealed to the government to provide security to stop constant harassment by miscreants within the community. The E-Block, originally built as a community day school, has portions of the facility converted into a temporary boarding house to facilitate academic activities and ease the stress of those outside the community. Unfortunately, the students, especially those in their final year, are on their own after school without any supervision and security. Some of the female students told reporters that they were constantly being harassed by robbers who sometimes attempt to rape them. Indeed, beyond that, some of our male colleagues also take advantage of the situation and force their way into us, one of them said. Due to the fact that the school was not built with a boarding facility, authorities have provided makeshift bathing and toilet facilities, exposing them to passers-by. A similar makeshift wooden structure has also been provided to serve as a kitchen attached to a toilet facility, creating health issues. The main E block is gradually deteriorating and the environment is not conducive for academic work. A teacher who pleaded anonymity told reporters that the school has written on many occasions to the district education officer at Aputuoja, right, without any response. That was quite a sad story. If students are facing these challenges,
so it all has to do with this E-block buildings that was put up. There were some complaints at the point. I thought it was all lies, but it's beginning to. The truth is coming out. Yeah. Where it was situated is very far from the community. The route to even use to even get to the access to the place is deplorable. And then you take them there, and there's no facility for them to have boarding schools in there. You just build the classrooms, no boarding facility. So when they come, having to go back is an issue. And they are supposed to live on campus, and this is what they are going through, to the extent of some of them being raped. Oh, Charlie. I don't know what to say to the young women out there, but let's hope that there will be some expedited action.
That their own male colleagues were also taking advantage of the situation and trying to force their way out into their block. What's the meaning of that?
Charlie. I hope the government is listening, or the DC or MC of that area, the chiefs and people of those areas listening, and then they'll take expedited action to at least help them now that they are writing their exams, because it's just them there. It's just there. Just the, I think, third-year students. So they do things that they want to do, and I'm not sure that even the teachers also live there. They also leave
because it wasn't really built as a boarding school.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those who want to stay back and do some extra classes and learn on their own and stuff like that are those that have been perpetrated.
And especially those who are from outside communities who are schooling in that community have to be in that facility.
This is really unfair. We hope some attention is given to them in the shortest possible time. All right. Okay. So let's just take with education, and this time around, still with the examination. Students use UV light to cheat in exams, according to a research by KNUST. The skin or clothes have traditionally been used by many students to aid in cheating during examinations. In addition to these, most invigilators are aware of the use of calculators, phones, and watches to cheat. However, a study by the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology has found one which eludes the invigilators, and that is the use of UV light. The use of UV pens involves students writing the answers with an inkless pen on any material they are allowed to take into the exam halls. That includes their clothing, by the way. Using of inkless pens. The rise in academic cheating indicates that students are finding innovative techniques to cheat during examinations. This situation has left invigilators and academic stakeholders at their wit's end. The study published in the Journal on Education Research International sought to explore the techniques used by students during examinations. The study revealed that the innovative techniques used by students were sitting arrangement, use of body parts, use of foreign materials, and use of technology. Dr. John Bollard Foucault, the lead researcher, said that in the course of the exam, all they did was to shine or focus the red rays of the pen onto the surface. Then all the answers would appear. One of the students interviewed by the researchers revealed they think it is an ordinary pen. Well, I sometimes tell some of my invigilators that it's an ordinary pen. I have an inkless pen that comes with a UV pen. All I have to do is write all the perceived answers on a sheet in my mathematical set and send it in. Thereafter, I use a UV light to reveal the answers.
Look at that.
Check. That's to ask easy, right?
Effortry. I'm thinking after this, why I should even share pens for these candidates in their exam hall.
Hey, 21st century kids.
Asking easy, right?
The things they are doing.
Hey, please, we ask you to be smart, but not this way.
Inkless pen means that just a chocolate attack them
it's
and then if you use a UV light, it's looking like a pen. So you ordinarily think that he's holding 2 pence. But about coach or not,
and about just in case about to have 2 pence even.
But he's just pointing it to his dress or the masthead or whatever it is written on, and then he's seeing the answers and just copying it back into the paper.
Easy, right?
Easy peasy. I see. Innovation. Well, you see what technology is doing to us also.
I know, right?
There's a good part, all right, but the other part of it that we have to guard against, like cyber security threats and all those things. And now the kids are even using it to cheat in the exams.
Maybe why could start sharing pens, so you don't come in with pens, so we'll give you pens. Yeah. Okay, let's get to that story. Where somewhere in the western region, some structures that believed to be housing prostitutes and criminals have been closed down by the MCE, and it looks like that's the reason married women are heaping praises on the MCE, because then I'm thinking that maybe they thought their husbands had a thing to do with these people in the building structures.
Of course, that's the main reason why they're jubilating. What else do you think?
The story says that some married women in Amenfi West municipality of the Western region have praised their assembly for closing down several structures believed to be brothels used for prostitution and criminal activities in the area. This comes barely 24 hours after a task force destroyed the structure, where items including herbal concoctions sealed in containers, condoms, amulets, and many others were reportedly found at the scene. In an interview, a woman said, quoting, "You have done so well. Our men don't sleep at home. They don't give us chop money. They stay in the brothel the whole night and return home in the morning." Another woman said, quoting, that he left me because of these prostitutes. Now that they have gone, he has returned to me. I'm happy.
Hallelujah.
Another said, quoting, "The men don't sleep at home. Their presence caused a lot of divorces, and we plead that they are chased out of this place." Then the MC for the area, Lord Nana Tando, who led the team for the raid, revealed that the said structures are believed to have been housing some foreigners, mainly from Nigeria. He, however, explained that the culprits appeared to have escaped before the task force arrived in those places, quoting that most of them are Nigerians. Unfortunately, when we got to the place, they had run out, so we could not arrest anyone. We destroyed some of the structures and have given about 6 landlords 2 weeks ultimatum to ensure their properties are not used for such illegal activities again, else we will destroy all of them. Mr. Tando also expressed concerns about the activities of the suspects, which according to him poses serious security threats in the area, quoting that we have reports that teenagers who go into mining come back to patronize these prostitutes. They harbor criminals who attack unsuspecting individuals, and the sad aspect is that they operate in the middle of the town with impunity, which is causing a lot of nuisance. That's the end of the story. So married women are heaping praise on the MCE because now their husbands will be home giving them chop money, taking care of them, sleeping at home, and all of that.
I think the woman should understand that there's a song, Enyemenia, it's not their eyes. They don't have clear eyes. Didn't you read the part where after clearing the place they saw amulets?
Oh, they. No, you see, the thing is, when a lady will come out, or should a lady come out and say that this guy maybe pressed my boobs or something, she wouldn't just say that if maybe you didn't even touch it. You get it? It's not all who call it. One found some canal found some for the chia. On because I won't sack a bomb enough. You get it? This is the excuse you can give.
One shot and touch by mistake.
Your hand left all the way and went down there and everything.
Yeah, girl no son sir. Girl no son sir.
The amulets not even. I'm sure the amulets were not even used by the prostitutes on the men. I'm sure the amulets, maybe the criminals, so that you can let go of your items, your phones, your monies, and all of that. But how, this is a wooden structure. You have a home. So how can you leave your home, leave your wife and kids, and go and sleep in a wooden structure till morning?
I didn't move nice house. Let me film in nice house. No matter that wooden structure. And everybody amulet be I am you.
Well, we do if you're asked to leave your home, your beautiful wife, your kids.
Let me say, it's not physical.
When they beat
spiritual matters.
They beat him to death. You went on God that
spiritual matters. He didn't intentionally do that.
He didn't intentionally.
By mistake. Or foul. Area on a girl no son. Our son in seminar. Maybe you fell into a trance.
If you are irresponsible, you know that this place is for such persons, so you wouldn't even pass it.
He said it's in the middle of town.
So there's nowhere to start. Story is in the middle of town.
Middle of town, they say Faho. Middle of town, they say we have a Faho. On number one, about this.
Now I say now trim.
Yeah. Evangelists arrested with human parts at Winchi. I mean, I keep saying the things that men do today, they even get the devil that gets shocked. I say, hey, he shock you. I mean, shock you.
He choke you.
But that's right. He shock you. A 45-year-old self-acclaimed evangelist is in the graves of the police after he was caught with human parts at Boko Nkwanta in the Winchi municipality of the Bono region. Evangelist Elijah, as is known in the neighborhood, was arrested upon a tip-off by the resident who was suspicious of his preaching activities. Evangelist Elijah, as is known, the assembly member of the area, Honorable Mustafa Musa, who confirmed the arrest to a tech news reporter, Nana Fred, said the incident happened on Wednesday, August 10, 2022, just yesterday. According to Honorable Musa, the suspect lives alone on the outskirts of the community. He comes to preach and goes back to sleep in the evening. A security with the quarry company alerted me of a suspicion of the nocturnal activities of the preacher. We proceeded to his house, and lo and behold, we saw human parts being dried on his compound. He said, "Hey, I done it tilapia." In the company of the two of the town elders, we got hold of him, told him to open his door, and to our surprise, we found other human parts in polythene bags on the floor, Honorable Musa added. Evangelist Elijah denied knowledge of the human parts when questioned, saying he had no idea of the human parts. Police from the Chira police station in the Siani West district of the Bono region were immediately called for his arrest. Further checks conducted in his room found sets of scissors, machetes, pens, jackknife, and other deadly weapons. A 23-year-old senior high school graduate known only as Faisal, a friend to the evangelist, was also arrested by the police to assist in investigation. Other checks by the police and the resident in Boko Nkwanta Cemetery also found that a tomb has been broken and the body stolen. Evangelist Elijah. If only Elijah so. Elijah was taken to heaven without seeing death. He was fed by the ravens. And he's going about evangelizing to dead corpses. I mean, and possibly even killing people because his ally happens to be a student who will probably even lure some of his classmates to him. Then he used them for their own thing. God save us.
Let's get into our last story, and this was about 2 months ago, where a young man who was in Holland and then returned to Ghana about a year ago, and according to him, things have not been smooth in his life, and then he went out to see a spiritualist who, according to him, one Evans mentioned that the spiritualist is asking him to bring a daughter for rituals and all of that to turn his life around, and he was caught. Fortunately, his daughter didn't get to die and all of that, and he's been granted bail. That's the story today. So, daughter for ritual murder, accused father seeks bail, and the story says that Evans Chichiku Opon, the man who allegedly planned to use his daughter for money ritual, has filed an application at the High Court urging it to grant him bail pending his possible trial if he should be committed by the district court. The motion for bail is expected to be heard, was actually heard yesterday, at the Criminal Division of the High Court in Accra. The accused, who has been provisionally charged with preparation to commit murder, has since 20th of June 2022 been in custody. after the Domestic Violence and Victim Support Center court in Accra denied him bail. The prosecution is still awaiting the advice of the Attorney General after it forwarded a duplicate of the docket to his office. He has, through his lawyer, filed an application at the High Court seeking to be granted bail pending the trial, depending on the outcome of the Attorney General's advice. Detective Inspector Adisa Walamani, who held brief for Chief Inspector Amwa Richard, told the court last Monday that they were still waiting for the Attorney General's advice and subsequently pleaded with the court to grant them an adjournment. Counsel for the accused person, Ralph Ajipong, indicated that he has had a lengthy conversation with the Deputy Attorney General in charge of criminal prosecution and will oblige with the prosecution's request for more time. The presiding judge, Ama Adomako Kwache, further remanded the accused person and adjourned the case to 15th of August for continuation, and that is in few days.
All right. Well, I'm sure in the coming days, I think this has actually delayed, intentionally delayed his bail till now because they actually want to remand him in prison custody for a while, punish him small before they get to hear his case. So finally, they're giving him bail. You go back, but I'm sure he'll be going back and forth in the courts, and then also when they are done with the proper investigations, the punitive measures which is supposed to be meted out to him will also be done. But I just want to pray and hope that they don't sweep this issue under the carpet, as we often hear, because it's a family issue. So
it's a family issue, and I told you some time ago that after the incident, I watched an interview with the girl's mom, who is really not living with them. Like she's only living with the daughter because it looks like, according to her, the man goes out of the country and comes back and all of that. I watched an interview with her, and then to me the stories do not add up at all. In as much as the family issue, the stories of the woman do not add up at all. At all.
Anyways, so that is how we wrap up today. My take out of the whole stories we did has to do with the Western Regional one, the Yemenia story. You know the English version of the Yemenia? What? It was sung by Shaggy. What? Wasn't me. So the marks on my shoulder wasn't me. All the lies that I told her wasn't me.
Would you be comfortable if a woman also gives that excuse that it wasn't her in this one?
It wasn't me. Precious is coming through to tell us about the under 20 Princesses World Cup that is happening starting today in Costa Rica, plus many other stories in the world of sports on Sports in Minutes. So we'll be right back after the break.
My name is Dr. Andrew Akutu. I'm the Managing Director of Lashibe Funeral Homes. Lashibe Funeral Homes was established to provide modern, state-of-the-art and comprehensive funeral services. If a family lost a loved one, everything became a do-it-yourself affair. But Lashibe Funeral Homes was established so that everything that has to do with the funeral, from the time a person dies until they're buried, can all be done and made available in one place. And at all times, to emphasize the importance of treating the body of the deceased with the utmost respect and dignity. Lashibe Funeral Homes provides any and all services that have to do with funerals. Lashibe Funeral Homes will recover the body from wherever the death occurred, embalm the body using the most modern techniques. We will keep the body or store the body in our state-of-the-art refrigeration system for as long as the family desires. Nearer the time of the funeral, we will prepare and dress the body up for the funeral. We provide transportation, namely ambulances and hearses, to convey the body from one place to the other as the family may wish. We also provide on our premises the services of an interdenominational chapel where the services can be conducted. We also have the only modern crematory in Ghana at the moment, which services not only Ghana but also Côte d'Ivoire. We also have a cemetery, one of the only 2 privately managed cemeteries in Accra at the moment. All it takes, literally, is one telephone call and perhaps 2 visits to our premises for everything to do with the funeral to be arranged for you. There are several funeral plans on the market. Most of them are based on the premise that when the insured person passes away, the insurance company will pay an agreed sum of money to the bereaved family. Often enough, the sum paid to the family may not be sufficient to cover the basic needs the family requires. That is where the Prudential Dignity Plan comes into its